Welcome back, everybody. We've had two pretty one-sided matches, but I would suggest the second one. Yeah. Because SOS really shows a lot of flexibility in it and how really good planning and tempo advantages and stuff like that can really pay off. And I thought that was a really good and informative series for any Protoss to watch.
Really unfortunate for Roro. I mean, obviously he's in a loser's match, but he doesn't get to play as EVP with a matchup he's so good at. He has to play another ZVZ where he might just drop out straight away. I mean, that's really tough for him. Just bad luck there. The SOS throwing advances here.
Well, you know, that is, I do have to agree with you on that. And actually, I have a lot I do want to say about Roro. I guess we can talk about that during his match.
Yep.
But right now, Life against SOS. And what are your predictions here, Wolf?
Well, with how well SOS played that first series and how Life actually plays, a lot of the time very similar to how Curious played that, I would...
yeah, that's a good point.
I would actually give SOS an edge here because, you know, he's only preparing for one matchup, and with how well he did in the first game, the first and second games, that first series, I give him an edge here. Even though I didn't predict him to get out of the group originally, with how well he's playing, I think he might actually be able to do this.
You know, I think he just matches up well with these particular Zergs.
Yeah.
Whereas you put him against certain other Zergs, like completely full package Zergs, like Sulky, it's a little bit harder for him. But these guys, like if you're tending towards aggression, that's going to do pretty well for SOS a lot of times. So we'll see how this one goes. I could definitely see it going either way. But as you said, you know, SOS is playing really, really well tonight.
Yeah. Solid play.
Whereas it's harder to gauge how Life is playing, because he played very well, but it's like not as telling as what SOS's match was.
For sure, especially if you consider game one is basically a free win.
Yeah.
You didn't really even have to play that game.
Yeah.
Well, Polar Knight, our first map, a two-player map. See if Life can just jump right out of here, go into first place, or if SOS is good Protoss versus Zerg style. He's going to take him out here. Let's find out right now with GSL Code S, round of 16.
There you go. All right. Here we go, Wolf.
Here we go.
2014 Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Round 16 Life versus SOS.
And I do want to point out that SOS already mixing up a little bit. Yep. By not going pylon at the choke.
That's true.
And that's good. That's going to keep Life on his toes.
Keeping up that variance, you know, being a little bit unpredictable. And I really like that. So we'll see what he does here. I mean, it's very likely going to be a gateway. You don't normally see Forge on the high ground.
Yeah, that would be a kind of funny opening.
You like only see that on Ultrazine, I guess, basically, because you got that, you know, weird wall at the front.
Or that one game during Code A on Yonsu where who did it? Was it Ruin? Just randomly went for it in his base and like was it Curious that did like a quick pull?
I think it might have been.
It was something like that, and I was just like, what? What? Like, I guess you could guess that because of the way you've been gateway expanding with Nexus first, but really? Like, that is quite a guess.
Speaking of early pools, we have Life here with a 10 pool, the same build that Curious chose. Looks like these Zerg players are looking at SOS's builds and they're saying, like, maybe 10 pools is the way to go. I don't...
Well, it's...
I mean, he's gonna be able to run these Lings around on the main base and be annoying for a very long period of time, most likely here.
I mean, there's no probe scout here, so it's not like he can know to Chrono a Zealot immediately. Of course, if he did do something like Chrono a Zealot immediately, then this would be like hilarious how bad this 10 pool worked out. But you're right, he's going to get some Lings likely in there to do a little bit of harassment with.
If he sees the Lings with his probe, which it looks like he's not going to see until too late, he could try to like make a pylon wall and buy some time that way, but the Lings are just going to run around there, be very annoying, and start to mess with the opening here for SOS. I don't think that probe could even, maybe barely saw the Lings.
Oh, the Zealot is going to just not get in there. All right, so some Lings do get in. He does pull these probes immediately, though, and look, this is lost mining time.
Yeah.
Maybe not lost as much yet. Oh, whoa, whoa, good micro by SOS. Really good micro. Oh, does lose a probe there.
Yeah, those two Zerglings on the low ground actually could run in here to help out. Actually, going to chase a probe instead to delay the Nexus.
That was like really nice that he pulled those other probes back, though, I do have to say. That was like super important. If he loses 2-3 probes to this, then suddenly Life has done a great thing.
Yeah.
But instead, you know, he's made a lot of lings in an early pool and not actually done that much damage.
Not a ton of damage. You know, the Nexus, you could argue, was like slightly delayed, but not too bad. Yuri does plant it down at around the normal timing.
Well, right now, that Nexus is going to be making a little bit slow here because of the speed of that pool, but the drone count not too high. And everything should kind of normalize from here. I'm really excited, though, to see what is the SOS follow-up, because so far he's had like really fantastic plans for every situation.
Yeah. He hasn't added any tech just yet, as he's adding the Stalker right now. It's going to cost him a little bit of time on that. But I expect he's still going to go Stargate here. And
whoa, that's actually a Robo on 1 gas, Wolf. That's what that is.
That's really... It's a really fast Robo, too.
Yes, indeed.
I don't think that he will be able to scout this either, because his Overlord, the natural, is very far away.
This is like, is he going to add 2 gates and do like one of these really old Immortal pushes that were around for 2 days, like a year ago?
Yeah.
Because he still doesn't have another gas.
I mean, it's definitely not going to be a sentry drop.
Oh, and there's 2 gates, man.
I think he's going to do exactly as you said.
Yeah, this build that we're watching here is hilarious, because if you have a map where you're hiding that you don't have a second gas, basically you walk out with a bunch of Zealots and a couple of Mortals and maybe a Warp Prism. Now, he's actually making the Warp Prism first. Yeah, this might not be the exact build I was thinking of.
He could also show the Warp Prism, and maybe that throws life off a little bit, then he just makes Immortals and brings Warp Prism back. We saw in Pro League somebody do something like that, where he made the Warp Prism first and still did an Immortal timing.
Do you know what? There's also the possibility, if he sends this on the right course, this Warp Prism, he might be able to get in there without being seen and warping like 4 Zealots into a base that has no idea.
Well, he's going to have a Stalker and a Zealot, I think, in that.
Yeah, I believe that is exactly it. Now, I believe that was seen by the Zerglings, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure, actually. Now he sees no units here. That should be making him think at least a little bit. And in fact, he's making a couple spines back home.
Yeah. He's got 3 Zealots actually in that Warp Prism. He kept the Stalker at home, I guess, to deny scouting. Make sure that Overlords don't get in and see this. And there he is.
Now these 1 gas Immortal pushes are actually kind of hilarious. And it is going to come. He's going to do some harassment with this first. But the 1 gas Immortal pushes, you basically just need a ton of roaches.
Yeah.
Like, you can try to make some Banelands, but most people don't. And that was
beautiful Queen
really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
That really hurts the production here, so it's harder for him to deal with the follow-up. I mean, he's extremely probe light here at 29 right now, and he's just going to walk across the map here. It's going to be almost purely Zealots.
Yeah.
We've seen Killer do this a lot, actually.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. He used it to great effect. There was like 2 days in Korea where this was the build, and it killed every Zerg. Protosses went 5-0, I believe it was, in 2 days with this build, and then never won another game with it.
Yeah.
And believe me, I was playing on the ladder in that time, and it worked really well just for a little bit. But the thing is, you haven't seen this build forever, so it's just brute force. There's no finesse here, but there's a couple spines and a lot of roaches already. I don't know, man.
Well, let's see how well he micros his roaches, because that's basically going to be everything here. He needs to keep them firing at the Zealots, sort of avoid those Immortals if he can. Force heals get dropped. Well, not get good enough ones.
The thing is, you can afford almost no sentries. You have to hit your force fields, and those, I would say, well, they kind of keep the roaches back, which is nice, but you want to trap and look, oh, that was nice. That was a very nice time warp. Yeah. And as long as those Immortals are non-stop firing at the roaches, he has a good shot to make this work.
Yeah, I actually feel he should start those forward a little bit. There he goes. Now he's going to target this down. A great time warp here. Not only slows the roaches, but the drones as well. And I think this has done enough damage already. Yeah. It's just going to work here.
It certainly is.
Great force field there, trapping him once more.
You know what, I love seeing games like this where you bring back such an anachronistic build, a build that like your opponent absolutely did not prepare for because it like was deemed bad a long time ago, but you haven't seen it in so long, you just have no practice, and it slams you.
Yeah, GG.
Really
SOS is like
well done.
Killing this group right now.
Dude, he has chosen his strategies, his follow-ups, everything so beautifully. It is an impressive thing to see.
I'm impressed. I mean,
he's looking for another championship.
This could be his time.
It could be. He's an excellent PvP player. There's a lot of strong Protosses. His PvZ is really top tier. And, you know, the thing is, there's not many Terrans. There's only 2 Terrans. So this is a season that SOS could do it.
I'm liking his chances, especially after watching this play today. Much more impressive, I personally feel, than his round of 32 performance. And it just goes to show, like, we talked about this a lot before, but you only prepare for one matchup. Your play, if you play the same way every time, it becomes a little stale, easy to prepare for, but he's not doing that at all.
No.
He's changed up completely every time.
Yeah, before he had 2 different two ones that opened similarly, but went in different directions. This time,
this is crazy. He's picked Yunsu?
I think that's probably an error. I can't imagine Life would choose Yunsu.
He picked Frost over Daedalus previously.
I think you're allowed to do that as a Zerg, but you're not allowed to choose Yunsu. Like, you're literally just not allowed. If I was his coach and I saw that, I'd walk and be like, no, new map. Choose a different map. You don't want to play
Tell him you made a mistake. You meant to say Daedalus Point.
Yeah, they sound similar.
I actually think he's really done it.
I don't think so. There's no way.
Well,
you don't choose Yunsu.
That is like a crazy map pick. This is probably the toughest map for Zerg in the pool right now.
Yeah. I mean... yeah, no, this would be the craziest pick that he could possibly do. There's just no way. Maybe he wants to get out of the way because he knows SOS will pick it. No, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, let's find out if Life can do it on this crazy map pick. Find out if that graphic's an error here at the GSL Code S round of 16. Wolf Toasts.